Welcome to Healing the Spirit, a space where we awaken our creativity, deepen our connections, and remember who we are through the lens of astrology, archetypes, and art making. I'm your host, Jonathan Coe. The third message that I received is healing the father wound. And immediately after I received this message, I asked, what is the father wound? And what I hear from the spirit of 2026 is to be alive in a body is to experience wounding. Everyone at some point experiences wounding. Being wounded doesn't mean you are weak or incapable. It simply means that you are human. The father wound originates from the belief that someone is responsible for holding everything together for the survival of the tribe. The survival of the tribe has always been the responsibility of the tribe, not the responsibility of select members only. At some point in the human experiment, we needed to play with hierarchy. We needed to play with order. The father wound is a result of this imposed order. I have a lot to say about that, but let me continue with the messages I received. And so I ask again, how does the father wound show up? And this is the answer I received. The father wound centers around one belief, that it is shameful to admit one needed help. As a result, the father wound creates distortions around connections. Instead of recognizing an invitation for deeper intimacy, closeness becomes a burden. Intimacy happens when protective layers are put down. When you believe it's shameful to have struggles, you push others away who are trying to get to know you. You push away others who are trying to connect with you. And finally, I also heard the father wound is not just in male bodies. The father wound lives in all bodies. And in case it perhaps wasn't clear, this piece around closeness becoming a burden feels to me like it's related to the sense of being responsible, right? Like if we are always responsible for those that we are connected to, those that we are in relationships with, then knowing more people or being close to more people will mean more responsibility, right? And then there is kind of this mechanism that they spoke about around rejecting connection, because connection then means that you are going to have to work harder in a way. So I want to share some of my own personal notes about this because this one felt really powerful to me. I've been noticing this as well all throughout 2023 to 2025. To me, Saturn in Pisces carries with it a certain level of a certain fractal or a certain portion of this healing process. And maybe one way to symbolically think about this is, around 2020 or so, right, we had Saturn in Capricorn. So this was leading up to 2020. And then Saturn moves into Aquarius. And astrologically, we know that Saturn is at home in both Capricorn and also traditionally in Aquarius, right? And so Saturn is very strong. The archetype of the father to me certainly is associated, at least some aspects of that archetype is associated with Saturn. And so throughout these years of Saturn being in Capricorn and in Aquarius, there have been a lot of these wounds kind of coming up to the surface for us to see. And this is my Thank you for listening to the preview of this paid episode. To access the full episode, head over to jonathancoofficial.substack.com/subscribe and support the podcast. You can become a paying member for as little as $5 a month or $50 for a whole year. Your support helps us tremendously with the creation and sustenance of this podcast. In exchange, you'll have access to monthly bonus episodes, essays, and study notes. All right, I will see you either on Substack or on another episode, and I'm sending you so much love. Take care.